Hi folks, Dave here with Creek Beaters TV, and today we're going to talk baitcasters.
Creek Beaters TV, made possible by Butch and Cheryl King, Justin Hobbs Studio, Falcon Hooks, Baitcasters USA, Titan Tungsten, Pulse Fish Lures, and PathfinderOutfitters.com.
One of the things we do as fishermen is we progress from simple to more difficult, more complicated, not difficult, but more complicated techniques of fishing. You know, most fishermen start off with a bobber and a bare hook, maybe a little split shot, and they go out and catch bluegill. That's how it usually starts as kids, you know, and then you get into bass and catfish, and your techniques will differ. Well, the same thing goes with our equipment. You know, you start off with a nice simple rig, nice simple setup like these, you know, the spin cast and closed face and things like that. And then you will eventually decide to jump into the bait casting world. Okay, bait casters are a little bit different in a way that you have to kind of set them up to your style, your technique, and your line densities and lure weights, rod compositions and strengths, and you have to set all that stuff up for this little guy. So we're going to go over this. I got a buddy that's just getting into bait casting and has a lot of questions on it. So that's what I'm going to do today, is show you how to set up your bait caster to begin with, how to practice with it and make it an extension of your arm as you're casting, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But let's just go ahead and get right into it. Okay, this is the bait caster. Okay, this is how bait caster works. It's a level line reel. So you push this button down and it releases the line for you to cast, and as you spin the handle, it locks it back in and allows you to reel it back up. Okay, now on a bait caster, this is a Lew's Super Duty GX. It's a this is actually kind of a different reel because it's also, this one is also a bait runner. I'll show you that feature here in a minute. Am I right? Do I have the right reel? Yes, I do. Okay, just go ahead and show you that. The bait runner part of it is here. How that's quiet. You can flip this forward, keep your reel loose, and then if you get a bite, it tells you, it will signal you that you've got a bite. But super heavy drag on this. I forget what the drag is, but I know it's really heavy. But this is a Lew's, like I said, Super Duty GX. Now, the way you do, let me get my favorite bait caster. Look how dirty this is. I use the heck out of them. Okay, so this is the Cast King Royale. It's a Cast King. It's a Royale is the model of it. Gear ratio is 7-to-1. I mean, it's a cheap Cast King reel, and I use them. I use the heck out of them. I own 4 of them. I love them with the Berkeley amp rods. Man, they are just this is my favorite combo right here. Cast King Royale with the Berkeley amp rod. Now, to set your bait caster up, the way we do that, this is a 1/4 ounce jig head. Okay, now this is my fishing rig. I've This is from last year. I haven't retied it yet. But the way you do that is you want to, and I'm going to show you this at a distance, but I'm going to show you up close first. Watch this. Watch how my reel won't spin. Okay? They say the way to set your bait casters up is to back this tension off so that once that hits the ground, it stops spinning like it did. Okay, it hit the ground and it stopped spinning, and that's how you set that up. You can loosen it up more, and watch. Now this is too loose, and once I let this go and it hits the ground, see what we got there? That's a bird's nest. So that is not the optimal way to set up your reel. Okay, so now I just take that line back out, lock it down. I always hold tension on my line when I'm reeling back up. Okay, so now I've got that tension too loose. Again, it takes off real fast. You tighten this up. This is so loose it's not even touching anything right now. But I tighten this back up. There's just a little tension. See what we get into. I've adjusted this tension back up to where, see how I can stop that? I can stop it with that. Okay, so let's take it down to right there. It stops with the when it hits the ground. So the reel stops, the spool stops spinning when it hits the ground. That's normally where I'll set it, and maybe take it, maybe you got a little red dot here. It was up at 1 o'clock. Take it to about 2 o'clock. So just about a few ticks past that. Now it doesn't even spin. That's how I do mine. Okay. This, now all my reels are left-handed reels. I don't use right-handed reels. I've never really understood throwing a reel and switching hands and reeling it. I don't do that on anything else. Why would I do it on this? So I just keep it to where I can cast with my right and reel with my left. But this is your drag. This little drag star right here is your drag. Okay, I got this set really lightly. Now to tighten that drag up, you just hold on to your handle and hear them click forward. A little bit more. There, now it's getting tighter. I can keep going to where, I mean, it's tight now. That's practically too tight to, that'll break your line for sure. Okay, so what I do is I get mine to where I set the hook. It has a little bit of spin, but not too much. Okay, or you won't get a good hook set. Right about right there. And what I'm showing you, this is a monofilament reel. The reason I got this because I got monofilament line on this one. It's the same thing with your that luge I have over there. It's got braid. That's what's so good about bait casters, is they can handle a bigger, heavier, thicker line. You can still, and it's still fishable, you know. Now what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and set this up and show you how to cast, because casting is probably one of the most difficult things to do when you're first learning a bait caster. So let me get that set up for you. Okay, so now what we have, I'm doing this reel because this is the one that I showed you how to set up, and you can see it doesn't, I don't have it falling on its own. I can adjust this and make it fall, but I don't do that. Most people, when they start with bait casters, one thing about a bait casting rod is they're all really stiff. They'll say medium heavy, and they're still a stiff rod. They're not as flimsy as a like some of the spin casters and other rods you get. You know, these are always stiff. So one thing that you'll notice when you first start casting a bait caster is that you'll do this. I hope I can do it. I didn't, I had to stop it. But you'll throw straight to the ground. A lot of people will just boom, throw straight to the ground. And it's something you have to kind of get used to. And another aspect of this is stopping the reel with your thumb, like I did there. I reeled to the ground. There you go. If you don't stop it properly, you'll get a backlash. I'm not saying that's how you fish with the baitcaster, because once you get used to throwing a baitcaster, and once you get used to or get it set up to you, you won't have to you don't have to stop it with your thumb. Let's try. I'll throw a cast on out there some. See, I mean, very little overspin on that. It's something that you just have to practice with and get used to. And that's the biggest thing on this, getting used to it. Another thing, a lot of people will bring their baits, I don't know if that's in the camera or not, but bring the baits too high. Give yourself a little room to get that momentum of the bait. Practice, try aiming up, and don't worry about long casts. Long casts, all that stuff will come. Accuracy will come. Length, distance, all that'll come with practice and comfort. Now, my buddy says that he has better luck. Hopefully you can see me. If not, you can still see the rod. He has better luck kind of flipping like that. See how it went to the left? You'll get into that a lot. It's the release of this spool. What you're doing when you're doing that, you stop it from free spooling. So that's like hitting a button on a closed face or holding the line on a spinning reel. You let it go just like that. Whenever you throw it, you let it go. And a lot of people let it go too late, and that's why it goes to the left like that. So the reason he has so much success with that, and his name's Mike, but Mike, the reason he has so much success doing that is the momentum that you're getting with that rod, with that you're getting the weight of that bait spinning, you know, and it just gives you more momentum. Well, you can do the same thing with your rod overhand. Again, you just want to nice and easy, let it, just practice with it nice and easy. Don't force it. You know, it's like throwing to the side of the building. If I want to throw to the side of the building, I just throw it. You just kind of lob it a little bit higher, you know. Trailer wheel. Okay, here's a bird's nest. It's good and tight, right? I like to try to find the line where it's coming, where it's tied up, and it's in here, okay? So I can't really see it, but you just take it real backwards on it, and that most of the time will free your bird's nest up to where you can peel the line and straighten it out. Look at it. That'll come out though. Now, let me make mention of something. On cheaper reels, not always, but generally, on cheaper reels, you don't have magnets in here to adjust. Okay, let me adjust the camera a little bit. These magnets, what they do, these are your magnets. Okay, this one does. I'm so sorry. These are your magnets in your reel. This is what slows the spool down from spinning too fast, okay? Is these magnets. These are adjustments. I've got 2 in, 2 out. So I only got 2 extra magnets engaged in this to help slow this down. If I'm throwing too fast, I keep getting bird's nest and keep getting bird's nest. I can just take that and engage all 4 magnets and it'll slow it down. Okay, so that's your magnets, and it's in most reels like that. This is also an adjustment for throwing, for casting. Okay, it keeps this from spinning too fast, overspinning, and causing that backlash. I got mine set on 9, so it's practically maxed out. And like I said, that's just how I set this reel up. That reel over there, let me go get it. We'll see how it's set up. This reel, you have to pull this bar, this little pin, and lift this up to get this side cover off. Then it comes off just like that. It also has magnets. It's got 6 magnets in it. Okay, just push this back in, lock it down. This one does not have a magnet or a tension spool on the outside, so it's just this one right here and the inner magnets. Take your finger and just flip your handle, and that'll reel it up. I'll show you. So say you're on a boat or something and you're messing with the trolling motor, and this bait is all the way down in the water and you want to bring it up. Hopefully you can see that bait. You just flip that finger and bam, bring it all the way up while you're doing that. You can't really do that with the other reels, and I don't know, it's just an added convenience. It's really cool, you know. I very rarely bring or change these settings, and I'll go from this being a 1/2 ounce bait to a plastic worm, rubber worm with a bare hook, and the differences are worlds apart in weight and your casting, how you set up a reel and how you cast them. But it's just, I've got these set up for just kind of a general purpose, where when I go to throw now I will say this, remember I said you throw straight down with these when you first start. If I have a heavier bait and I go over to my light night crawler or light rubber worm, I will, the first cast, I usually forget that weight difference and I'll smack the water right in front of me, and then it's like, oh yeah, I forgot I had to cast a different way, and I just cast like I showed you here, you know, kind of like a lob. And then, well, just like everything else that you do, you're going to get better and have your own techniques. You see people flipping and skipping and doing all kinds of techniques, holding onto the lure and shooting them out, and just, you know, different things like that. But that's just learn to crawl before you walk, and you'll be all right. That's pretty much an overview of Baitcasters. They're really nice because you can take these covers off, take the spools out, and you can grease them, clean them, and all that stuff, which I need to do before this spring's outings. But that's what's so nice about them. You don't have to have tools to do it, most generally. Other than that, man, I'm just it's just a matter of practicing, and don't shy away from, like, if you're having issues throwing overhand, that's what you need to do the most. Do that the most. Get out there and throw that thing over and over and over and over. Get your practice plug and beat it up. That's the best way to do it. But you don't have to. Let me hit on that real quick. This is about $160 reel, I think. The Cast King Royale is I got those all for $40 a piece, and so I got 4 Cast Kings that are equal in price to this one. I like this because it's the bait runner. It's got a super strong drag, so it's a multi-purpose reel. But I wouldn't take all 4 of my Cast Kings for this. I love the Royales. They're a little workhorse. I've had them for 5 or 6 years now. They work every time. There's nothing wrong with them. I love them. So you don't have to have big money in a setup. This is a Black Max combo that I got, and I hated the Black Max reel. Gave it to my son. He loves it. And so I'm using the Black Max, Abu Garcia Black Max rod with the loose reel. And again, that's the Berkeley amp rods with the Cast King Royale reels, and I give me that combination all day long, and I'll take that all day long every day. So, and I usually run about a 12-pound monofilament. This has got a 16-pound braid, and I use it for like top water and stuff to get a little stronger hook set. But yeah, if there's any questions, man, get a hold of me and hit me up. You can hit me at creekbeaterstv@gmail.com, or just hit me in the comments and say, hey, you don't know what you're talking about, or I like what you're talking about, or whatever. And stay tuned to the channel, because I'm really wanting to work on a very serious change to my channel, and I'm excited about it, but I don't know how long it's going to take me to do my videos, because it's going to be a lot of work involved in those videos, and that's what I want. I want to do something that nobody else is doing. So that's why I'm putting so much work into it. A lot of research, a lot of spent money on equipment this year. So it's kind of a new start for us here at Creek Beaters. So stay tuned for that, and I will let you know on that very first video I do. It's going to say new video, is going to be a premiere and everything. I want you to give me feedback on it. Tell me if you like it, because I think I'm going to love it if it turns out how I wish. So anyway, this is Dave for Creek Beaters TV, reminding you to keep God first, and we'll see you here next week.
What are you talking about? Creek Beaters TV? That's awesome.